What's going on, everyone? It's Ryan from Hard Money Bankers, joined with my partner, Ian. What's going on, Ian?
Not much, just watching the markets.
All right, happy Tuesday. All right, before we dive in, we have an event coming up. Here we go. On Thursday, I will be speaking at the panel. As you can see, it's going to be a bunch of lenders. We're all going to be talking about the current state of the market, how to use us for funds and things like that, hosted by Joe Scoris. So thank you, Joe. Appreciate you having us, and looking forward to seeing everyone there. I know you're all going to be there, Clark, New Jersey. So, all right, Ian.
You still haven't Googled where that is, have you?
I know exactly where it is. It's right where it's right where I used to live.
Okay, I was gonna say you got to drive ahead of you. I didn't realize it was. I really thought it was South Jersey, but
no, it's for anyone near the Hoboken, that area. It's definitely.
I guess
Elizabeth
fits your area better anyway for you, particularly specifically for you. So that works.
Mm-hmm. Yep, perfect.
Yeah. So I guess nothing to really go about really too much into the market right now. I have my. Do you want to bring up that screen I have? It's kind of going as we expected, as we talked about. So this is the Dow daily, and we've been tracking the trend lines that have broken, which are the blue lines going from bottom left to top right, and then it's formed the double Bermuda Triangle here. So the triangle off the top we discussed, I think yesterday we brought it up, which means there's a line in the sand with where buyers and sellers are. You can actually see I have a trade on as a buyer. There's my part of the fight, right? So
that green bar is your buy today?
Yeah, so I bought at that green line, and so far we're doing all right. So but that's yeah, it's a good one. But that's so the buyers and sellers right now are in a battle because your triangle creates that. Like I said, like you got to get above this line to be okay. The buyers have won with a close. You have to get below this line to say the sellers have won with a close. So everything in there is consolidation and pressurizing downward into this point. And sometimes what you have on a scenario, and I was talking to Ryan about this morning, is you can have like a pattern within a pattern. And what I mean by that is you can see this other purple lines create another triangle. If you were to bring up like a 2-hour chart, which we'll have Ryan do in a moment, this is called like multiple time frame analysis, meaning basically if you treat each time frame like a single trader, like moving the market up and down, there are times when you have confluence between two different time frames. So you might have the 2-hour or a 4-hour time frame, they're moving along, and then all of a sudden they have a triangle along with the dailies having a triangle, and it just brings more money into the market. It just compounds the effect. So it's a pressurizing thing that we have going on right now. So really they have to have not only the daily triangle that has to resolve itself, but now we have a 2-hour triangle that has to resolve itself. And I think what it's doing right now, I don't have the market in front of me, but it was probing over the top line. So I'm not convinced that it doesn't try to put a head fake in here and basically go up, maybe close at the highs, or have a sell off at the very end of the day to bring it right back inside this small triangle. And then as you'll see it goes, it'll just pressurize straight down. It'll keep pressurizing. It'll get a little crazy in this triangle. So with some whipping action, you might get some sort of news release in here as it tries to break out. And then it's going to continue to pressurize down into the triangle, the big triangle. And that's when, as we get closer to the edge, it's basically like as you just start cornering the market more and more, it has nowhere to go. It has to make a decision. There's no choice. There's no more space left. So that's when like a frantic animal has to move in and out of the market and people start to panic. So if you want to bring up that 2-hour chart, Ryan, do you have that?
Yep. It's updated up to the minute here.
Okay.
So I put the old triangle in so you can see the move made today.
This is the 2-hour time frame?
This is the 2-hour time frame, yeah.
Okay. So this is the move happening right now. So it's essentially breaking out of the 2 hour on the 2-hour. It's breaking out. But like I said, it could go anyway, but if this were to be what it looked like on the big triangle that we have coming in on the daily, this would be a really positive sign for, hey, this crash, it might not happen, but this particular one needs to close above that second point that you have there or on the top. So if you look at the little red doji there, if you want to put your mouse over it, Rye, or circle it or something. Yeah, right there. It needs to close over that to be convincing to the buyers that, yeah, okay, we broke out of this triangle to the upside, and then it ends up looking kind of like a double bottom. And then you might have a play from like that'll go up to like 34,500 or maybe 34,750, and then it'll curl back over, and then it'll retest the top of that doji that you have, that little red mark where your mouse was. Yeah, it'll retest the top of that and then flip support and resistance, and that's what happens many a times if it's a good breakout, and then it forms a dragon pattern. There's a whole bunch of patterns you can look at if you're a pattern day trader, but anyway, so this is the triangle that we have breaking out right now, and we'll see how it plays at the end of the day. I'm not convinced that this is just going to be a straight up day, and if it ends up being a day that closes at the high, don't be surprised if we have a hard sell off right into tomorrow to pull this back into the triangle. But it still hasn't, we still haven't even. It would have to go up to, let me see where we are today, like 30. Well, no, yeah, I mean, if it goes to 30, if it went to 37.50. We'd be flirting with the up
37.50.
Yeah, if it went up to about 3,700, if it went up to like 3,700 or so, that would. So go back to my screen real quick. 3,700 would put us, let's see, right about here, which would be the top of the big triangle. So if it were to make it there, it would go up here and find some heavy. That's a battle line for the sellers. The sellers are going to be there, so expect some action if it were to actually make it out of this triangle and up to there. But to me, it feels like a little bit too much of a move before a news release, or maybe news comes out today. I don't know. Facebook went down yesterday. I thought the world was ending. Everybody thought the world ended. So what do you think of that, by the way?
Facebook being taken down. They said it was the biggest takedown since 2008.
It was a hack?
Yeah, it's a DDoS attack, is from what I understand. So
gotcha. So I saw an interesting post on Reddit, even though I hate Reddit's stupid, but I saw an interesting comment, which was like, the dude was like, I'm 40 years old, right? Back in like just a few years ago, it wasn't uncommon for like Xbox Live to be down for like 3 days over the holidays. and that was like normal. And now we're at a point into the future where like 3 hours and the world stops because Facebook went down. Like that's the level of like responsiveness and anticipation that we are at with this, which is crazy. So
that's when it's integrated.
We are in the future. You're living in the future. So, but yeah, I don't think there's much else in terms of the market today. I wouldn't expect anything crazy. This whole thing, like if anybody's taking their hands off the wheel again, we're not there yet. You're gonna have to wait until, like I said, the big lines. I mean, you could circle. Did this do something? No, I don't know what I just did. Well, the bars that should be circled would be maybe this one. No. All right, I'm just going to make a mess. The bars that should be circled are this one right here and this one down here. So you need a close over either of those lines to really start to feel comfortable about which, are we back into an upswing? This is all, incorrect. We need a close over this bar. And then all-time highs. Those two things have to happen. If it's sellers are on board, the world's about to end, $8.2 trillion, China, Evergrande, and cargo ships, we're going to go under this line, and then it just starts to unfold. So those two bars right now are the most significant bars. Here's a crazier statement. Those two particular bars are potentially the most significant bars as of this moment in the market for the last 100 years, to be honest. Because the implications of not going to new highs right now and going into the new lows sets up a potential bear market with that we've never seen before. So I'm going to go as far as saying these two specific bars are literally the most specific days of impact in the last 100 years.
I'll say at least since COVID. So the range is between 100 years and COVID.
Okay, fine. Yep, you can go on that. So.
Cool.
That's what I got. Just pay attention. But those are the two bars you should be looking at if you want to know what you should be looking at.
Cool. Thanks, Ian. Appreciate it. We'll check in tomorrow or if anything crazy happens, but looks pretty steady for today. So probably see everyone tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good.
That's it.